and welcome to another episode of HISD TV. My name is Miss McCullough, and I am the 4th grade math instructor for this segment. Hi, 4th graders. I'm so excited to see you guys. Another week of learning, another week of math, another week of school done. Who is excited? We are one step closer. I know I tell you guys this every time, but we are one step closer, and I am so proud of you. You guys are getting so much knowledge every single day, not just from math, from reading and language arts and social studies and science, everywhere. And you guys are just applying it, and you're learning so much so fast, and I am so proud of you. Well, guys, you know that today is a new day, a new math video. And so with that being said, you're going to need a few things to get ready and get started with me today. The first thing you're going to need is a math notebook or a sheet of paper. If you have your math notebook, that's great. Take it out because we're going to use it today. If you don't have it, it's okay. Just take out a sheet of paper and work along with me on there. The second thing you're going to need is something to write with. That can be a marker, a pencil, a pen. I prefer pencil because you know that in math, sometimes we make mistakes, right? And we have to erase. And if you don't have a pencil, it's totally fine, guys. Just grab something that you can write with. If you have a highlighter, I recommend that you take that out. If you don't have a highlighter, find something yellow, like a yellow crayon or a yellow colored pencil. And the third and most important thing that you're gonna need, guys, is you're gonna need to find somewhere where you can relax, but also make sure that you're focused and that you're learning with me. So if you need to move toys out of the room, or if you need to put your phones and your tablets, maybe your computers away, go ahead and do so. I'm going to give everyone a couple of seconds to gather their things, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, wonderful friends. You guys have got your stuff ready. You're ready to go. We're going to go in and jump right into the objective. Remember, guys, the objective tells us two things. It tells us what we're going to learn and how we're going to apply what we learned in today's video. So if you guys are ready, yes? All right, let's go ahead and read it together. Today we will determine products of a number, 10 or 100, using properties of operations and place value understandings. Okay, friends, now that we've read the objective, we know what we're going to learn, how we're going to apply what we learned. We are ready to get into the math. Make sure that you're following along with me, 4th grade, and make sure that you guys are writing everything I write. I know sometimes these videos go a little fast because we have to squeeze so much math into 30 minutes, right? But it's okay. Just try and follow along with me. If you miss something, just focus and pay attention with your eyes because that's the best thing you can do. All right, guys, ready? Let's get into it. Okay, everyone, so we are going to begin our video this week with some multiplication review. We are reviewing multiplication problems, strategies, vocabulary, everything multiplication today in order to prepare us for the STAR. So let's get into our vocabulary. Look at the first word on your screen. This word reads product. Yes, product. Very good, guys. The product is just the answer to a multiplication problem. So the product is the answer. Think of like when you're working in a factory and you make a product and it's like the final result, right, of what you're making. Well, our final result of what we're solving in multiplication is our product. So our product is just a fancy word for that's right, our answer. Very good, 4th graders. The next word is factor. Do you guys see this word here? Factor. Very good. Factor are the numbers being multiplied in a multiplication problem. For example, in this picture you see here, we have 17 times 3 gives us 51. So the factors are 17 and 3, and the product is 51. Our next word is perfect square. Perfect square is the product of a number multiplied by itself. It's represented visually as a square with equal side lengths. For example, 4 times 4 is 16. It's a perfect square because there's 4 here and 4 here. And what do we know about squares, fourth graders? Yeah, we know that squares have all congruent sides, so that means that all of the sides of the square are the same. So we know that if this side measures 4, this side should measure 4, and this side should measure 4 inches, and this side should also measure 4 inches. Very good. So it creates a perfect square. You guys will see this with numbers that are multiplied by themselves. For example, 8 times 8, or 3 times 3, or 2 times 2, or 9 times 9. Those are perfect squares. The next word is equation. Equation. Everybody say this word with me. Equation. Yes, an equation are two numerical expressions set equal to each other using an equal sign, typically where one value is unknown. So for example, we know that 35 minus 5 equals 15 plus blank. Well, if we know what 35 minus 5 is, what's 35 minus 5, fourth graders? Good job. 35 minus 5 is 30. So we know that 15 plus what gives us 30? Yeah, very good. 15 plus 15 gives us 30. So this creates an equation. It's where it's two number sentences together that mean the same thing. They're two different number sentences. For example, 35 minus 5 and 15 plus 15. They're two different expressions, but they mean the same thing. And we know that they mean the same thing because they show us an equal sign right here. Our next word is multiplier. Everybody say that with me. Yes, multiplier, very good. A multiplier, guys, is the first factor listed in a multiplication expression. So you see how this is the first factor here? Remember, our factors are just the numbers that we are multiplying. So the multiplier is the first factor, and it tells us how many groups or rows of equal amounts there are. So this tells us our this tells us our groups, and this is called a multiplier, and it gives us our groups. But the next word is multiplicand. Yes, ready? This is the second factor listed in a multiplication expression. It tells how much or how many is in each group. So it tells us how many per group. So we have our multiplier and our multiplicand. Very good. Our next word is associative property. Ready? Everybody see this word with me? Associative property. This, guys, is the grouping of the factors, and it does not change for the product. So it's just group the factors together like this. 3 times 4 and 4 times 5. And it doesn't change the product. We know that 3 times 4 is 12, right? But we know that 4 times 3 is also, 12, right? So it just doesn't change. The factors are moved around, but we know that it's the same answer at the end of the day, the same product. Our next word is array. An array. You guys probably remember arrays from 3rd grade where you worked with a little bit, maybe some manipulatives or some cubes or some counters. And an array, guys, is just an arrangement of objects in equal rows and columns. So if we arrange things equally, we create an array. And arrays are really important for multiplication because we multiply the length times the width, just like when we're finding area. When we're talking about area and perimeter and we find area, you guys know that we multiply the length times the width. Very good. So array is kind of the same thing. And it sounds the same, right? Area, array. Doesn't that kind of sound the same? Well, just like in an area model, we multiply. Just like when we're finding area, we multiply length times width. In the array, we multiply length times width as well. So 3 times 4 gives us, very good, 3 times 4 gives us 12. And if we count the amount of dots in this array, we know that we have 12 dots exactly. So that's an array. It's a way for us to visualize our multiplication problems. Our next word here is distributive property. Distributive property is multiplying a sum by a number by each addend and then adding the products. So it's like breaking it down basically. So we know that 3 times 10 and then we're going to multiply 3 times 8. So you just break it down into smaller pieces and then at the end you add these products up. So you're going to add 3 times 10 and 3 times 8 to create the overall product for this equation here. That's distributive property. The next one is commutative property. Commutative property. This means that the order of the factors does not change the product. For example, what I was talking to you guys earlier, 17 times 3 is 51, but 3 times 17 is the same thing as 51. Just as if I were to multiply 5 times 3. Can somebody tell me what 5 times 3 is, fourth graders? Yeah, 5 times 3 is 15, but I also know that 3 times 5 is, 3 times 5 is 15. So you guys see how that product does not change, right? No matter what order I put these factors, whether I put 3 first or 5 first, we know that our product stays the same. It's always going to be 15. Our last vocabulary word for multiplication is area. Area is the number of square units needed to cover a region. For example, when we're talking about area and perimeter, if I want to find the area of my floor, that is the amount of coverage or the amount of square units needed to cover my floor. So remember guys, when we're talking about area, we're talking about covering things, not perimeter where we talk about just the outside or the border. We're talking about inside, so that's area. And with area guys, we multiply the, very good, the length times the width. So in this area model that you guys are shown right here, what are we going to multiply? What two factors? Excellent work. 3 times 4. And we know that 3 times 4 gives us, 12. And we should be able to count and make sure that there are 12 little squares in this model. Excellent job, fourth graders. Great work with vocab. Let's get into some problems. All right, guys, so we are going to look at a basic multiplication problem first, 2-digit by 2-digit, because we are in 4th grade now. So now we multiply 2-digit by 2-digit, or even 3-digit by 1-digit, or 3-digit by 2-digit, right? We're grown now, guys, so we know how to multiply like that. And so we're going to use the area model. Who uses the area model to multiply? Yeah, a few of you. That's really good. I love the area model, guys, because it's super easy and it just makes sense and it works perfectly. So let's do it together. Ready? The area model, remember, area is like the inside of something. So when we use the area model, we are going to build a square. And you always want to start off with a square. And I'm going to draw a square. So I invite you guys to write this equation down and to build a square with me. Very good. All right, so when we are multiplying using the area model, 4th graders, we are going to split up these factors, 23 and 45, by their values or their position, right? So their place value. So what we're going to do is we're going to split them up based on their place values. So we have tens and ones, and we have tens and ones. So let's start with the factor 23. What is our tens place? Yes, very good, 20. So I'm going to write 20 right here. And what is our ones place? 3, excellent job. So I'm going to write 3 down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these up. Remember how I said we split the numbers based off their factors? Yep, we split them up. Very good. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split up the second factor, which is 45, just like I did 23 based off their place values. So what is the tens place in 45? 40, excellent job. And what is the ones place? Yeah, 5. Awesome work, 4th graders. So I'm going to split this just like this. And in the corner, I'm going to put a multiplication sign to let me know that I need to multiply. So this is how we're going to do it. Once you guys have written this down, I want us to draw some arrows. Each box is going to be a product of the length and the width of that side value. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the length times the width. And here we're going to multiply the same thing, the length times the width. And here we're going to multiply the length times the width. I promise these arrows are going to help us identify which numbers we're going to multiply and which numbers we're going to put in each box. Does everybody have that? All right, awesome work, fourth graders. So let's get started. So what I'm also going to do is take out my highlighter. If you guys have a highlighter, take it out. If you don't have a highlighter, use a yellow crayon or a yellow colored pencil or orange, something vibrant that sticks out at you. And what I want us to do is highlight the zeros here. I have 1, 2 zeros. I've got 1 in 20 and I've got 1 in 40. And keep your highlighter out, guys. Keep it really close and handy. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the first two values that we have. We have length and width. We have 20 times 40. And I know some of you guys are like, oh my goodness, how am I going to know what 20 times 40 is? Well, fourth grade, guess what? Here's a little trick. Listen closely. Ready? 20 times 40 is the same thing as 2 times 4 with 2 zeros added at the end. So let's just take it step by step. What is 2 times 4? 8. Very good. We have 8 here, right? But remember, I told you, how many zeros do we have to add? We have 1, 2. So how many zeros should I add to that 8? 2 zeros. Very good. So our total for 20 times 40 is, 800. And I'm going to highlight these zeros to show you we have 1, 2, so we tack them on down here at the end. Let's solve the next one. 40 times 3. Remember, we're going from the number on the top to the number on the side. So 40 times 3. Well, remember, it's the same thing as 4 times 3 with how many zeros? 1 0, because we have it up here. So what is 4 times 3? 12. You guys are so smart. 12. And how many zeros am I going to add? 1. Very good, because 40 has a 0. Does 3 have a 0? Nah, 3 doesn't have a 0, so I'm only going to add 1 0. I'm going to highlight it so you guys can see. All right, let's move on to the next. We have length times width. So 5 times 20. Well, 5 times 20 is the same thing as 5 times 2 with a 0. Very good. So what is 5 times 2? We know that 5 times 2 is 10. And how many zeros am I going to add? Only 1. Very good, because does 5 have a 0? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to add a 0 right there. Very good. And I'm going to highlight it. I always highlight my zeros to make sure that I'm following correctly and that I'm adding them on correctly. Let's do the next one. 5 times 3. What's 5 times 3? 5 times 3 is 15. Very good. You guys, we just completed the area model. So now we have all of our products in here. So what we're going to do with all of these products now is add them up. We're going to add them up, and I'm going to add them up right down here. Okay, so we're going to add up every single number in the box. You guys ready? And when you add, fourth graders, make sure that you are writing the numbers down in correct order. Make sure that you have that place value all correct. So it should look something like this. You have your place value correct. You make sure you don't have the 10th place for the 15 right here and the 1's place for the 15 right here. Make sure that you have your place value in correct order. If you guys need to draw lines to help you order your numbers, please do so. I'm going to draw some lines here so that I have my place value all in order. All right, fourth graders, I know you guys are super smart. You've learned so much, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a couple seconds to add this up together, okay? So a couple seconds. All right, so let's add it. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 9 plus 1 is 10. So what is our total? What is our product? Yeah, our product is 1,035. Very good. And do you guys see how we did that? We solved using the area model, and we're going to solve lots of multiplication problems today using the area model. All right, fourth graders, let's move on to the next problem, which is a math story. All right, so let's do our math story together. Okay, so let's read it. It says, Miss Flores purchased 52 packages of cookies for the school's reading event. Each package of cookies contained 34 cookies. How many cookies did Miss Flores purchase? So first of all, let's just figure out what our problem is about. Is it about cats? Is it about dogs? Is it about polka dots? Is it about stars? No, it's about cookies, right? Cookies. And what are we trying to find out in this problem? What's our question? Yeah, how many overall cookies Miss Flores purchased, right? So what we're going to do is take out our trusty highlighter, and we are going to highlight important information. So we're just going to highlight the whole problem? No, right? Just the information that is important to us. And we know that one piece of important information are, yeah, numbers, when we see numbers, right? So Miss Flores purchased 52 packages of cookies. So cookies come in a package, right? Yep. So she purchased 52 packages of cookies for the school's reading event. And then it says each. Ooh, so each package of cookies had 34 cookies inside of it. And we want to know how many total cookies she purchased. So if you guys can see here, I have a little Bitmoji and it says GET, get. Now, who's familiar with a get chart or the get strategy? No? Some of you, okay, well, if you're not familiar with get, we are going to get it together today. So let's use get. And get is a super cool chart that tells us exactly what we have to do. And get stands for groups. Write this down with me, guys. Each and total. Groups, each, and total. So that's what get stands for. It's the number of groups in our problem, how many are in each in our problem, and then our total if we have it. And whenever we fill out one of these boxes, we move on to the next. And if we have an empty box or an empty column in get, then that's what we need to solve for. And let me teach you a cool trick. When we're finding groups, we need to divide. If this column here is blank and we don't know how many groups we have, we know we need to divide. If we don't know how many are in each group and this column is blank, we know we need to divide. But if our total is blank and we don't know how many is in our total, then we know we need to multiply. Very good. So using our get chart, let's fill in the information that we read in the word problem together, okay? So Ms. Flores purchased 52 packages of cookies. 52 packages. Does that sound like groups? Does that sound like the number of cookies in each package? Or is that the total amount of cookies overall? Yeah, 52 packages are like groups, right? Because a package is kind of like a group. If I'm going to put cookies in packages, that's kind of like putting them in groups. So I agree, 52 groups. And then it says each package of cookies contained 34 cookies. Well, there's a really good key word here. And our key word is each. And when we see this word each, we match to the word each in the chart. So each. So how many goes in each? Yeah, we have 34 cookies in each package. And then our question says, how many total cookies did Miss Flores purchase? Well, we don't know. We don't know how many cookies she purchased. So what do we need to do here, guys? Yeah, we need to multiply. Very good. You see how we use get? We just plugged in the numbers that go with each category. And once we did that, we were able to understand what we need to do to solve this problem. So let's solve it together. We know we need to multiply. Let's write out our equation first. So our equation is 52 times 34. 52 times 34. Do you guys see that? All right. And we're going to solve using the area model. So let's solve using the area model. We're going to draw a square. So everybody drawing this with me. And remember, we are going to split the numbers up based on what? Based on greatest to least, based on how they look, based on our favorite. How are we going to split these numbers? Yeah, based on place value. Very good. So we're going to split these numbers up based on their place value. So we have our tens and we have our ones. Let's start with our first factor, which is 52. So we are going to split 52 into, you guys are so smart, 50 and 2. And I'm going to draw a line right here. And then we're going to split up 34 into, yes, 30 and 4. Very good. Remember to put your X in the corner. That tells you you're going to multiply. And then next we're going to highlight our zeros. Now this time I'm not going to draw any arrows because we can use our fingers to kind of guide us as to which two numbers we need to multiply. So let's do it together, fourth graders. 3 times 5. What is 3 times 5? Yeah, 3 times 5 is 15. But how many zeros am I going to apply to this 15 at the end? 2 zeros because I have 1, 2. Very good. So our total or our product is 1,500 for 50 times 30. All right, so let's move on to the next one. 3 times 2. What's 3 times 2? 6. But is it just 3 times 2? No, it's 30 times 2, but we know that 30 times 2 is the same thing as 3 times 2 with a, with the zeros. We're going to tack that on at the end. 4 times 50. Well, we know that 4 times 50 is the same thing as 4 times 5 with a 0. Very good. So what's 4 times 5? 4 times 5 is 20. And how many zeros am I going to put on that 20? 1, because there's only 1 right here. Very good. And our last one is 4 times 2. Do we need to apply a 0? Nah. What's 4 times 2, fourth graders? 8. Very good. So what we're going to do now is we are going to solve and we are going to add all the numbers up in our area model. You guys ready? All right, let's add all of these numbers up. Make sure that your place value is super together, that it's neat. You guys are putting every single digit in its corresponding place value. If you need to write them out big, write them out big. If you guys need to draw some lines like this to tell you where your place values are and how you put them together, please do so. Okay, it's important to be super neat in math so that you don't make silly mistakes by putting the numbers in different places and then you get a different sum. All right, so let's go ahead and add all of these up together. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to add, and then we'll check. All righty, let's do it. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 0 plus 6 is 6. Very good. 5 plus 2 is 7, and the 1, we're going to drop him down. So what is our product for 52 times 34? 1,768. Very good, guys. Awesome work, fourth graders. All right, everyone. So our math challenge for this week is to solve the following equations using the area model. Remember the area model that we went over today? We reviewed it. We went over it. Remember to make sure to split up your values. And I'm going to give everyone a couple of seconds to write these equations down. So you guys have to solve 33 times 98, 45 times 62, and 21 times 87 using the area model. Good luck, fourth grade. Yay, friends, we are done with our math video. I hope you guys learned with me today, and I hope that you guys are taking the skills that I've showed you, the strategies, and you're applying it in your math classes and in the math challenge. Make sure that you guys do the math challenge. I know it seems like something else that you guys have to do, but it's only one question, and you have the whole week to do it. The math challenge is there so that you can practice what you learned in this video and that you won't forget it, okay? So everyone have a wonderful week full of adventure and friendship, and I cannot wait to see all of your fourth grade faces in next week's video. Bye everyone!